All right, this next story is an audio story from listener HX.
Okay.
HX.
HX, I believe, a.k.a. Hexagon.
Hexagon. 6 sides.
6 sides.
Six.
6 times 3 equals 666.
666. Loading up HX's scary story. Hitting play now.
Hey, I'm from Norway, and up north where I come from, there's a lot of like superstition, and the Sami indigenous people always have some connection to like being able to heal wounds or see things. Like, yeah, there's a lot of mediums and shit up there. My bloodline also has some Sami in it, so I'm not going to say this is from that, but might have to do with that. When I was a baby, I was around under 2, maybe, before you are supposed to be able to form memories. I remember from a house we were living in. I didn't know it was that house, with my memories. This is stuff I found out later in life. I remember going to bed, and every night I would become scared because I heard footsteps, heavy footsteps coming up the stairs up into the second floor where I was, and coming right next to my door, and then they would stop. I would always sleep with my door open because I got scared of the dark because of that stuff, and I would start crying, and my dad or mom would come in and do some Christian night songs. But yeah, I thought that was just a weird memory from when I was a kid. But as I grew up, I heard about that house from others, and my dad would say he never felt comfortable there. They would talk about my grandfather, who was even more Sami than us. He would say there's something in this house that doesn't want us here. And when they were staying outside visiting us in their camper, he would hear big thuds on the roof of that camper and stuff. I thought my memories were from another house, but I went there to check, and the layout didn't fit with how I remember it, and it's very weird that I remember it at all. And then I would talk to our old neighbor, an old woman, and I was telling her about my memories of, because I knew we had lived in her house, and she said right before my bedroom door was a door. Oh, I should have probably told you this. There was a door in the house that was locked at all times that we weren't allowed into when we were renting the house, and that door was right across from, right across the hall down from where I was sleeping.
That's spooky.
That's extremely spooky.
My guess, there was a Gillian Anderson shrine in there.
I think if there's, that's like my nightmare.
Yeah.
It's renting somewhere with a room that I don't have access
Just a weird
to.
locked room that has sounds coming
That's
out of
my
it.
fucking nightmare. That's so freaky.
And I don't know if,
Also, having these memories at 2 is crazy.
Yeah.
But I do believe that he said from Norway.
Well, and because I feel like that's the thing too, that here in North America we wouldn't experience as much, just because everything is so much newer than there.
Yeah, there's ancient shit going on in Norway.
I don't know this house specifically, but it could be some house that's 400 years old or something.
Yeah, or just land that's been inhabited for 1,000 years.
So so much more time to get haunted.
Yeah, I am a firm believer. Well, and Norway's one of those places. They're more northern than Canada, and it gets darker.
Yeah,
it gets dark.
I think they would be warmer, but they would get heavy darkness. I think.
Those places that lose the sun
You're right.
I do believe that, creepy crawlies do come out a little bit.
And it also helps that HX sounds a lot like Varg Viking.
It's a very pleasant accent,
It's
Norwegian accent.
Yeah, shout out the Norwegian accent for being like an ESL language that actually sounds nice.
Yes, it's very pleasant.
Not many such cases.
No. Yeah, it's a good language for storytelling.
It is, yeah. It's very like Bard on a snowy hill.
Yeah. Very full of vril.
Yeah.
Very full of vril.
Indeed.
Okay, we're going to keep going from 328.
Or like right before, but across the, So that was their dead son's room that they had kept like pristine.
Oh
my God.
And so I, as a baby, probably heard some of that, I think. I don't know if I'm a believer or not, but that's crazy that I remember that, and like that it stopped right at the point where his story is. And then I talked to some of the neighbors around that place. They're all like some form of weird type of Christian called Laestadianism or something. It's a local thing, I think. They're very old school. Kind of like a little bit culty, maybe. But they say they see something in the window in that room, because that's like out towards where the other people live. In the evenings, they see someone standing there with like a faint blue glow. They call him the Blue Boy. And so it's kind of a known thing that I didn't know was known until I started looking into it. I've heard other people trying to rent there also moving out because it became too much. They would hear like footsteps in the stairs all the time. My mom would think someone was coming to visit all the time. She's a dumb woman, kind of. She's very naive. She always sees the best in everyone, and she's a Christian too, so she said she never got a bad vibe in that house, but she's the only one I've talked to who never got a bad vibe in that house. So yeah, people had moved out, and we had weird experiences. Everyone I talked to in my family had weird experiences, even me as a baby. I think that's the most convincing story I have. I don't think I have experienced anything else than that. And it's weird that I would remember it, even though I was so young. I shouldn't be able to remember that when I was 2. But yeah, that's my little story. Sorry, 6 minutes is longer than just a short story, but yeah, there it is.
Thank you, user Hexagon.
Yeah, spooky ass story.
That's
the Blue Boy.
The Blue Boy.
Damn it, I just said the blue was my favorite color.
Well, and like his neighbors practicing like a very like niche local form of Christianity that I've never heard of.
Yeah,
a lot of details there that are, and also any story that's like in a foreign country, there's an added detail of like every Japanese horror movie scares me more than American ones.
Yeah,
just because like the buildings are different.
Well, because I imagine it's some weird like curly Q wooden building with spires, and things.
It's a building where the roof is like a boat or something. You know?
Like an overturned boat.
Yeah,
and the little glowing blue boy, the dead boy.
It did remind me though, like. To share a personal story,
the
house I grew up in as a child was an old like townhouse from the 50s.
Okay.
And in our like crawl space, we had this tiny little crawl space. It was one of those like condo neighborhoods where like every house was identical and connected.
Okay.
Yeah. It was born like in the 50s or whatever. It was made in the 50s.
Sure.
And our we had a little crawl space in the basement, and it had all this like writing from like kids who had lived in the house previous. So it would be like Jack and Lucy 1964 or whatever. It was like full of that. So like I etched my name in when I was like 11. I was like Jordan fucks girls or whatever.
Yeah, awesome.
got put down here or whatever, trying to sound cool for the next kid. But like it was something I never thought about. But when I was home alone as a kid, I would constantly hear people come home.
Yeah.
But no one, like I would hear my parents come home, but they wouldn't be there.
Oh.
But I would like hear like the front door and then it like open and close and like someone come upstairs. And I never thought anything of it as a kid. I just assumed it was like the house noises, but it was like so distinctly someone coming home.
Oh, okay.
And it didn't, I didn't realize that wasn't common until I like moved out of that house.
And stopped hearing it.
And I didn't hear that in anywhere else I ever lived. But it was like constant that I would hear like like the distinct noise of like we had this like front step installed that like made a really loud noise when you stepped on it.
Okay.
So like throughout the whole house, you could like kind of hear it if the house was quiet. And I would constantly hear that, and then like somebody come in, and then like usually come up the stairs. Reminds me a lot of that, of like my the house I grew up in,
and especially like the crawl space. Like, did any of the messages say like Timmy was murdered here?
No,
like,
it was the
pure lies, Timmy.
And it's hard to tell how much of it was because I was like 6, but it was also like I was like terrified of the basement. And like it was the kind of basement where like the light switch was at the bottom of the stairs.
Oh, so you had to walk
turn it off,
through
and then
darkness?
I'd have to turn the lights off and then sprint up the stairs, and then you'd hear my parents would hear me like, and they'd be like, "What's going on?" And I'd be like, "Oh, nothing. I'm going upstairs."
Damn.
But it was like kind of a spooky house.
Yeah.
And yeah, the crawl space was all full of writing and scribbles. And probably. I never looked too closely, but yeah.
Finger scratches.
It might have been the place where they kept their horrible homunculus son, who like was a eraserhead baby who lived in the crawl space.
Fish head homunculus son. Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a.
And imagine how much scarier it would be in a foreign country like Norway.
I know. Well, I was never even like scared. It was just something I never thought about. I was always just like, I must have been hearing things or something.
Yeah.
But it was like every time I was home alone, I'd hear like people come home that weren't, and no one was there. So much so that like it became routine that I would like look out the front window and be like, oh, no one's home. Okay.
Huh.
Yeah, it was never scary though. I was never like, it was just like pretty consistent. Yeah.
It's very mysterious.
It was weird.
Did you have a Gillian Anderson shrine?
Yeah, but not to summon her or anything, but I did have a Gillian Anderson shrine.
It's more of a J.O. Crystal scenario.
Yeah. I had shrines to various female wrestlers and I had a lot of shrines. I had various shrines in my bedroom that were not really for summoning purposes, more for charging stuff. Yeah, I had like a sable shrine. I had like a Trish Stratus shrine. And,
sure, who didn't?
Yeah, everyone had a Trish Stratus shrine.
A Stacy Keibler shrine.
It's just normal shrine stuff. Nothing weird like Gillian Anderson from the X-Files.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Hexagon.
Thank you.
That's a great story. That was a very cool story.
Yeah.
The Blue Boy.
The Blue Boy.
This next
We'll call that story The Blue Boy.
The Blue Boy.
Mm-hmm.
We love our colors here, folks.
Yeah, it's making me want to switch back to Perp L gay.
Okay.